prices are going up every year so much that pretty soon there won't be a margin. I know it's scary, but there will literally be no profit margin to generate a lead. So the only way to stay in the game is to be the one closing the deals or being able to monetize that data with something else.
Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, the number one podcast bringing you behind the scenes with real online earners. No fake gurus here. And today with us, the man of purple leads, the man of Geek Out EDU, James Van Elswyk. I said that right, yeah? Yeah.
You did it right. I'm very surprised you nailed it.
Yes, I'm good. All right, man. I'm going to be honest with you. We tried to get you on the podcast before, but you're just a busy dude, man. And like, I'm stoked that you're here because I've seen you teach some native stuff. I watch your Facebook videos and like straight up, you're an educated dude in this space, man. Like, you know what's up. You're good at native. You're good at fucking Facebook. Like, you got it down pat. So I'm actually really excited for this podcast. So
dude, like, after you say all that nice stuff, I'm excited to be me. I never thought about it that way. I'm an educated guy.
Well, honestly, man, like I feel like so the whole reason we started this podcast, so we like could bring real dudes like forward and like be like, hey, like there's not a whole bunch of 20-year-old fake gurus out there. There's actually real dudes that know what they're fucking doing. And I would say you are that guy. So I'm stoked to have you.
Yeah, man. It's cool how you have bridged like the actual application and the teaching side. Like you've done both, man. That's badass.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but I've always enjoyed teaching. And I feel like as a leader of companies or whatever I do, I've always had to like teach people. Like I always feel like I got to go absorb the knowledge first, learn it, and then teach it to be able to have a life. And, so it's always been something that, I kind of have enjoyed,
that's awesome.
The teaching thing really is like fulfilling for me. It's less than guru-ish,
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit before the podcast got started because Tyler was a little late to the party, and I'm just gonna throw you under the bus, bro.
Do it.
And
the children out there.
We were talking about teaching people and how it just like honestly, it feels way better to make someone else money than like make yourself money. Like making money for yourself feels great, but like helping someone who's never made it before, like that's next level.
Especially like, internet money.
Yeah.
No, you help someone make money. It's like the best thing you can do for somebody besides like getting a blade. It's like it's a premium thing. And like, especially like if you can help somebody crack something and you know what that feels like when you can't figure something out and then you like get over the edge. It's so satisfying.
Cause I remember like your first like $100 profit, you're just like, oh my God. And your first $1,000, you're just like, oh my God. But now like our levels are so up here, like it takes a lot to get me excited, but it's cool to see those people get re-excited about like something that you've already surpassed.
Totally. And for me, man, when I check stats now, like I look at the cash port of things, this is very cool, but I get off more on if I have like a theory and it works. Like I don't even see the profit, but if I have like an angle or an image that I just think is great, and it like it's almost as good as like making cash,
Yeah, totally. Are you in a spot now in your life you like to really build and create?
Yeah. I mean, in order to get to my life goals and everything else, I mean, I have to play like a lot of roles, right? Because I run organizations. But at the same time, like I have my specific superpowers that are harder for me to replicate. Buying data, I have great media buyers. I have a partner in my agency and she's honestly probably better than me at this point. But the one thing that I still kind of keep in my hands a lot, not because I want to, is like creative strategy. Like designing landing pages, figuring out angles, the funnels, like this type of stuff is my area to create. And I also write a lot of copy still.
Oh, nice. Crazy. That's a good skill, man.
Very good skill.
Like sometimes like if I want to get it done, my voice is just the one that I want to have resonate. Like, especially for the education stuff. Because it's my brand, it's my face. So if it comes across douchey or dumb, then I'm not, it doesn't represent me well. But I do like the copy part. I usually break it into chunks of like 4 days. So I'll go somewhere.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll go somewhere because I don't want constriction. When I have to write copy, I don't want to think like, oh, I have a call at 4. So I'll usually go somewhere either like Tel Aviv or Amsterdam, and I'll just blaze up. And for like 4 days, just just pound copy and concepts, and then I
That's
come back
awesome.
and it up. Yeah.
Would you say that is your superpower?
No, I would say ultimate superpower is the ability to find talent and help them find their optimum. Like I can see what
That's
someone's
awesome.
ultimate ability is
Yeah.
quick, and then I usually can help them find the path to achieve it. And I would say that would be my superpower, probably.
That must be great for hiring.
Yeah.
The best. You know, because my background is call centers, right? So I've been doing entrepreneurial shit since I was 15. And I like hired and fired like thousands of people in the call center business.
Yeah.
So like, my read on people is like super quick, and I have all my personality tests and IQ tests. I've just had a luck, I guess, of finding like the right people and then keeping them. You know, I've had people that have been with me for over 10 years now.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Man. That's
Let's
awesome.
actually dive into that, man. Like, because you know, a lot of people know who you are, but there's a lot of people that don't. Could you kind of explain what you do now and what you do online?
Yeah, it just takes a second. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, we got time.
So I'm an affiliate. I would say that number one, I'm an affiliate. Still runs offers. I have a network, so I have an affiliate agency that buys traffic, and it's a network for offers that I own.
Nice.
I own a few e-com brands. This has been my first big year getting hard into actually owning the brand, full customer service, building products, R&D, you know, like really not just drop shipping, but really digging in. I have a creative agency in the Ukraine that builds like websites, video ads, pre-sales. They know how to test their own ads, and they kind of support my other operations. I've got an agency that focuses on natives. So we do everything, but our real push is native advertising for different types of offers. And then I
Your
have
own or like others as well?
Others as well. You know, we're picky. It has to be the right client. It has to be an offer I feel like I can make work.
Yeah.
Because usually the way I do it is I'll do like base monthly fees, plus I want a percentage of what I come in under the CPA goal. So it's kind of a hybrid.
Oh, nice. That's
so
smart,
like
actually.
I'm still incentivized, but I'm not working for free. And then, you know, and then I've got the education business, which is, you know, it's become a pretty big part of what I do, basically trying to educate people on how to become successful media buying, usually around natives. And I have something I will talk about, but it's new. No one really knows about it, but I'll drop it anyway. But
cool.
So I started a charity that basically takes underprivileged people, like people in hardship situations, and teaches them how to media buy and then places them in jobs.
Wow. Oh, crazy.
Yeah, I have
Dude, that's awesome.
Of my first class coming out in February. So it's just tons of shit that all involves clicks. Like all of it involves clicks, but it's all the way around the circle, you know? So
totally.
Man, that's crazy. That's super cool. I've never heard of that before,
man.
But that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. That was super fulfilling. And it taught me a lot about teaching as well. Like I've never tried to teach someone that was like just a regular civilian that never thought of ads, didn't have a friend that ran ads. Like we're talking people that worked in factories, worked in Target, just got out of jail. Like, you know, they were in halfway houses.
Yeah.
And I got to teach them for 2 months, along with a lot of great teachers, you know, that came in and helped me. And it was like, you have like an empty brain, you're in a classroom, and you like literally can start out at day one teaching them. Like I taught them funnel first, like stages of awareness, copywriting, research, avatars, personas. Instead of usually you teach affiliates, they just want to learn about data. It's so different. And normally like affiliates, when they come to your events, they pay a lot of money to come to these things very often. And they pay like 50% attention. These people are getting it for free. And they were like hanging on every word.
Are you serious?
Yeah, totally. Because they want the opportunity.
Wow.
Their lives. We're not good. Really just not in a good situation. You know?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's a high value skill. Like that really opens the opportunity for them to completely change their lives.
100%. Like, listen, they started out at $56K a year. And we're talking they were probably making 20. And like, that's what I like. That's what I like about media buying. You're completely sought after. Nobody cares about your background. Nobody cares about your sex, your race.
Not at all.
You're either green or red. Like you either make me money or you lose me money, and that's it. It's the great equalizer.
Totally.
Yeah. Man, that's like that must have been challenging, because even trying to explain to people what I do when they don't fully understand this industry, it's like you're speaking a different language. They have no clue. It sounds like you're an online drug dealer.
It starts from zero, dude. It literally the only way I could try to get it into their heads was to try to connect what they see and then what's behind it. And the easiest way to do that was like Facebook targeting. It'd be like, okay, you see this ad, why do you see it?
Yeah.
It's because people like me are behind it manipulating you seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, and totally. Now I'm going to teach you how to be the puppet master, but everything that you see, there's someone else that's making you see this, you know?
Totally.
But to hear,
dude, that's crazy.
To hear kids start out and talk about like LTV and AOV and buyer awareness and like product unaware, it was like super, super fulfilling. Like I would do in the class, I would go around and quiz them like, what's this? What's this? What's this? And it was just like, to hear these people that like 4 or 5 weeks ago didn't know shit, understand it. It was really cool. It was really
That's
cool.
Badass, dude.
That's crazy. Are you going to hire any of them yourself?
I actually I would have hired a few of them for sure. There were some that were like amazing. But I actually had an agreement with a friend that they were going to be his students. There were 14.
Gotcha.
Cool.
You know.
Man, imagine that would be quite the come up, like as a 14-year-old learning that. Or did you say?
No, I had 14 students.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
The youngest was 19.
Okay.
That makes sense. Was like 32, but all with like pretty severe hardships.
Yeah.
You were very specific. They all presented me with hardship letters and all this type of stuff to find people that really could use it.
Oh, that was like tough to read.
Dude, like really, like I had an HR person handle the interviews and the outreach.
Yeah.
Probation officers or whatever the case may be. And
are these people in the US or where are they from?
US. Wow. So it was in California.
Yeah.
And then I would do like Zoom calls, you know, and it was like when they would break down their stories for me, it was intense, dude. You know, like I was almost like filled up at the end of a couple of them, and I was just like, dude, this is gonna be so dope. And then when we ended it, I mean, a lot of them cried and shit. Like, yo, you changed my life. Like, not just I learned how to media buy, but a lot of the guys that I had come in and teach were affiliates or self-starting entrepreneurs, right? So they talked about sticking with it, visualizing. I taught them about visualization. I taught them about meditation.
Nice.
Oh, man.
And, like, because I said, fuck it, it's my school. Like, you have no choice, right? Like, I'm gonna and I said, like, look.
Do you make them meditate?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I said, look, our job is a brain job, right? So like, it's important to exercise your brain, because the smarter you are, the more money you make someone, and the more money you make someone, the more you're going to get paid. So let's talk about how to exercise our head. And basically, because of like this kind of positive stuff and mindset, like I hate it at events when people like pitch hardcore mindset.
Yeah.
I told the teachers I had, I said, listen, these people really need mindset. Like they're downtrodden. They don't see these chances. So at the end of it, this one girl, like fully crying, was just like, you know, my life has been so hard. I've never let myself be optimistic until I graduated.
Wow.
Shit. Yeah, dude. It's like, it was real. It was intense, dude. It was real intense.
That is intense.
Bro, honestly, I feel like I'd tear up just being there. Like I'd be like a fucking mess all the time.
Dude, it was like, listen, it was a lot. Like when, you know, we're in the middle of it. I'm joking with them, teaching the teachers there, but every once in a while they would say something that made me remember to glimpse into what their reality was like outside of the class. And I was damn.
Yeah, shit. Bro, good on you for doing that. Like, that's like props, man. Like, I haven't met anyone in our industry that does that shit yet.
Not at all.
I'm all about that charity shit, man. It's like every business I build now, I try to build a charitable portion into it. And look, I'm in my goal right now to stack cash is to be able to be charitable. You know, like that really is like my thing. Like my grandfather was like super charitable. Like I watched this, you know, he was like immigrant, entrepreneur, went from nothing to making like tons and tons of money, and he gave it all away every month. And I saw this, you know, and I was just when he died, like, I guess it was like year and a half ago, and he died at like 90 or some shit, right?
That's a good life.
There was 650 people at his funeral, and you got to think like all of his friends were dead.
Wow.
Like children, and they're coming up being like, he paid for my college, he put my kids through school, like, and yeah, dude, it had like an effect on me for sure. So now I look at it like I only need so much money. Like, I love money, I love nice shit, but at the end of the day, you get past a certain point, which I hope I far surpass, it's kind of useless. So, and a friend of mine kind of mentors me, just talked about it and said, listen, like, charity, big charitable efforts require money. So if you want to be charitable, if that's in your plan, don't go trying to do little shit now. Focus on making a lot of money so you can do big shit later in your 50s.
Yeah.
So that's really my thing, is by like 53, 54, I want to be able to dedicate my time to that type of shit.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah. I think it's always interesting when people have that view on money and they're just like, we don't need that much. We don't need that much. And I'm like, I think about it more like, what can you do with that money? Like, not for yourself, but for everyone else around you. Like, there's so much more value in that than like buying yourself a fucking Ferrari. Like, obviously I want a fucking Ferrari, but like,
yeah, totally.
You know,
and it's my right. Like, I don't feel like I owe anybody anything. If I make $1 billion and I set that shit on fire, so what?
I
don't want to be guilted into having to be charitable. Like, people are talking shit. Like, Bezos just gave $100 million, I think, for a home.
I saw that. Yeah, and people were like busting his ass.
1% of your wealth, like.
Yeah,
like,
I don't see anyone else giving out 100 mil. Exactly.
It's shit, you know. So I kind of look at it like that. Like, I don't owe it to anybody, but for me, it does seem wasteful, especially because I'm an entrepreneur, right? I want to play the game. I've always played the game, and I'm not an athlete that's going to go to the World Series or the Olympics, right? So like, for me to like be competitive in my thing, I need to hit a high score. But like, a high score, I'm not going to be able to do anything with all of that money. You know what I'm saying? You might as well hit the high score and then like pass it out to people. If you're smart, you handle it well before you die so that it can go on forever and ever. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I love money. I love nice shit. But there's a certain point, like, how much do you need?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Fuck, man. That's really cool. So let's kind of talk about what you're doing now in terms of business-wise, like what your main focuses are, kind of where you're growing, where you're really like putting down the time, and
okay, so I guess this year I would say has been the year that I really learned about e-commerce brands. Cutting my teeth on that, learning really a new skill set. Marketing e-com is very different than lead gen. Fucking remarketing, you know, like that itself is like a whole new thing compared to lead gen. So putting that in.
Remarketing on lead gen's tough.
What's that?
Remarketing on lead gen is tough. It's not like e-com.
Never worked.
On e-com, yeah, exactly.
Never worked. In fucking probably 5 years of doing lead gen at scale, I've never seen a benefit of remarketing.
Yeah, agreed. That's funny.
I gave up on it like years ago.
It's like, if people don't fill out the form, they're gone, or I'll just show them another ad later for cheaper. But in commerce, you know, especially with a product, we've got a product that's got a $268 average order value. You're just not buying it on the first click. Like, it's just too expensive. It's not an impulse buy. So you need to rearrange your concept to expect them not to buy at prospecting level, and then have like a beautifully built out remarketing funnel. And the nice thing is, because of like the audience size that comes in from prospecting, if you break the remarketing segment into small enough pieces, 1 day, 3 day, whatever, you never need to refresh anything, right? Because no one's ever in that bucket long enough to burn it out. So once you set up a sick funnel, they stay. Another nice thing about the e-com thing has been, my partner comes from retail as well as online, but he'd never heard of affiliation.
Really?
Never. Didn't know, like, comes from a whole nother sector of the world. Like, he knows how to sell things on Facebook for sure, but things like pre-sales, no idea. You know, offer pages.
What a huge opportunity for him.
dude. And vice versa for me, like now
Yeah.
I own a warehouse in China. I own a laboratory because we became partners, right? We went 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he brought this shit to the table and says, look, I got shipping, fulfillment, R&D, box design, packaging, all
Wow.
this. And I said, yo, I have traffic and I can build pages. And we just said like,
Yeah.
okay, cool resources.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
That is a good partnership right there, man. Cause like so many people just don't understand package design and the amount it takes to get in proper fulfillment, like product, like having the correct amount of like product on hand at all times. Like, yeah,
It's
that's
a
a
nightmare.
lot.
It's a nightmare. It's crazy. And now it's
Yeah.
like Chinese New Year's in January.
Yeah.
So you got to like pre-buy and get it all shipped to the United States. And it's a whole nother business. I just figured like, look, to be excellent at something, they say it takes 10,000 hours, 10 years, whatever. I learn fast. I work hard. So let's say it takes me 6 years.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to hit my life goals to learn something to excellence for 6 years.
Yeah.
This dude,
Especially when our world keeps on changing too, man. It's not like our world's static at all.
Yeah.
completely dynamic.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same in our world.
No.
Totally.
So it was a good, it was definitely a good alignment. My team gets along well with his, and also he has some very good players on his team. So I really inherited some A+ players as well. So far it's been grand. We've got one brand doing nice. We hit like $1 million a month within 3 months, and then
Nice.
we've got 3 more on the way this year. Investing a lot in the R&D and the technology, getting patents, just trying to do it like the full right way, which I didn't even know about. Like,
Yeah.
I run offers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I sell.
You know what I
shit
love
on
about this, bro? It shows like, and that's one thing I always tell people. I'm like, even if what you're doing now, you don't think you'll do it forever, the fact that you develop these skills will totally open you up to different opportunities in life. Like if you know how to run traffic, if you can basically bring a business buyers, like your opportunity is unreal. And like in this case, for example, you now own a factory, you now own this, you now own that. And all you did was focus on what you know, build that up, bring that value to another business. And for him, it's a no-brainer. Like the fact you guys are doing $1 million a month now and you continue to build up brands, like that's huge value for him. That means he doesn't have to worry about it. And so that's a beautiful marriage, man. I love that.
Yeah, listen, if you can run traffic and you can sell shit with advertising, it's a skill set when you're at expert level or even at mediocre level, right? It's applicable to everyone in the world. Like if I become a master cabinet maker, like that's dope. I'm an expert at something, and yeah, I can find partnerships and I can make millions of dollars or whatever. But when you can run ads, you can hang out in any circle. You can hang out with a dude that owns like some fucking $100 million corporation. They still want what you have.
Yeah.
Like it's still like everyone's always like, what we do is a black box. Like they just don't understand the marketing thing. So it's definitely, I think, one of the best skills to learn.
That's awesome.
Coming from lead gen, how do you like the e-com world?
I mean, look, I like it because there's no daily cap and there's no quality review, and buyers don't need to be able to get their shit together.
Yeah.
I don't need a call center to close leads.
Yeah.
I don't have hours of operation. I don't have things being shut down for holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the opposite. The slow time for lead gen is the big time for e-com.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's true.
I'm not dependent on a call center to make me my money. Like, cause you know how it is. If the leads don't work for them, the CPA doesn't back out. I can't make leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vice versa. It's harder to sell shit. Because like, if you think about it, I might be able to get paid like $40 for a high quality lead. It's a lot easier to get someone to fill out a form than it is for them to pay $40 for something.
Yeah.
That's true.
Plus
you get them to actually pull out their credit card and all that.
Yeah.
And also like with lead gen, every week's like a new week. Every day is a new day. Every week I got to get a new order. I got to fill more cap. Or where with the e-com stuff, it can manage itself a lot smoother. Like you can set a brand up and get like, let's say one product running and it's not, let me give a better example. At the volume we're at right now, the amount of time it takes for me to maintain it is way less than $1 million a month at lead gen.
Yeah. Interesting.
$1 million a month on lead gen is constant conversations, constantly talking to people, setting up posting. posting errors, posting issues,
Yeah.
discrepancies, like all of this shit.
We find that like right when we're about to hit it home and like really scale, like they can handle maybe like a week of that. And then they're just like, whoa, like we got to do a bunch of shit. And I'm like, really? Like you've been saying push it for so long. And now that I'm spending 50 G a day, you want me to back the fuck off? Like,
Of course.
Oh, it's so frustrating, man. Especially with like the Facebook landscape, you know, like I feel like once everything aligns on that side, it's just like the other side breaks and you're constantly balancing it.
Yeah. But that's what I always tell people, like you in this environment, right, with lead gen, because we used to, like with solar was our big lead gen one, and we owned the offer, so we distributed to lots of different buyers, and they were like in a ping tree. I'm sure you guys are familiar with ping trees. Totally. And it's like it was variable on both sides, right? So you got variable traffic costs and you have variable revenue. So trying to get those things to fucking juggle, it was like always like this seesaw. Like it's great. I love lead gen. I like selling leads. I like making leads. I still do lead gen right now intensely, but it's definitely stressful.
That makes sense. That is funny, man. What you said just about like, because advertising costs are so variable, and like, you know, I mean, someone wants to pay, you know, $20 for a lead in Texas and $45 for a lead in like Delaware, but the size of Texas and the size of Delaware are two completely different things. Like it does get tough, man. That's a good point.
Yeah. With your e-com, are you trying to build it up for a big sale, like a buyout, or are you just doing it just to build a brand and keep some steady cash flow?
It's a good question. I would definitely say exit. Like, I think some of the brands are more built to sell, and then other ones, like if they're making cash and they're evergreen. So I'm being very specific in the targeting of what I'm doing. So like I'm trying to pick stuff that's evergreen and solves a problem and is in a marketplace that's really shitty, right? Because like the optimum exit is when you can sell to an offline competitor that can't figure out online.
Mm-hmm. True.
Right. So if you can get something evergreen where you can build a market edge, like there's some technological gap or error, etc., you can really take over and do something amazing with it. At the same time, and I'm not like a finance guy by any means, but I definitely think there's going to be somewhat of a backlash against companies that aren't profitable. So I think like, and I've worked with different partners that have tried to exit and they try to pump their rev for sale and stuff. I think that I guess at this point, I look at it like I'm just going to continue to try to pump profits, reinvest those profits 2 years, 3 years, build it up to something very, very large. And then like, fuck it. If somebody wants to buy it, God bless, make me an offer. And if someone doesn't, I've got this big, beautiful, profitable machine.
Totally.
Yeah, that's smart.
That makes sense.
I'm not married to any of them, you know, it's just.
Yeah. I've never really understood the whole, like, just build up the user base at a loss and then just hope you're getting a buyout. Like, and obviously I don't play in that big business world. Like I run ads on Facebook, but like that shit would stress me the fuck out.
Totally. Yeah, like, listen, maybe I'm a kid and I don't understand that shit. And maybe that's like how the big boys do it. But I personally am like, okay, I want to have like a margin of like 20% and like
you want the business pay for itself.
Yeah, totally. Like if some smart fucker comes to me and it says, look, dude, if you want to sell this thing, you got to run it a negative, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, great. But from my point of view, it's just about being able to put money back in and not take any money out for a few years. Like I try to have, that's one thing like with my partner as well on the e-com brands, we're pretty committed to never taking money out. So like we make money from other businesses. And then the idea is that you just continue to push it back in, giving it more and more power, you know?
Yeah.
Nice. Is this product you guys are focusing on now, is this a consumable product or is it more of a one-time buy or?
So we have a one-time buy and we're now adding more of a residual thing to it, I would say. And our second product is a one-time, but it again has a residual on it. And then we have a new one that we're working on now. We're kind of pivoting. That's going to be mainly, I don't want to say subscription, but something that is hopefully like a lifetime product that somebody likes it and will continue to use it for years and years. Because I can see now that's the win.
Continuity for sure.
Continuity.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude. That's one thing we found. We did a breakdown of like successful brands. Like this was for, you know, us internally, me and Gabe. We did a breakdown of successful brands and like, what does the ideal business look like? Well, it's nice when you can pay for a customer one time and then they keep buying. So anytime there's residuals, consumables, whatever, like you can now stack you know, you look at your lifetime value. If someone's going to buy for 4 months, you make $40 a month, you're spending $100 for that client, but you're making 160 after 4 months. Like you're still up. It gives you that much more like, you know, wiggle room to work with.
This is the massive, like I'm a little bitch at the CCOM stuff.
Yeah.
My native agency has managed some money for some guys who really know what the fuck is going on, like super undercover, not people that are, I don't even think they have a Facebook account. And like, I got a guy that I run ads for and we sell a product for him. So it's like $150 product. And I would say there's like $60 in costs, right?
Yeah.
And he's willing to pay $250.
Wow.
Because he knows after 5 years, his lifetime value and his follow-up sequence and everything else. And this dude's spending like $150K a day for like at least 3 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
On the regular.
That's a great client to have, side note. Like,
yeah, no. And you know what's so dope about it is like, and one of the reasons I do the agency shit is that we all are in the same Google Analytics account, right? So different agencies run different traffic for him. So like Facebook agencies, there's Google, there's remarketing, there's Bing, there's email, and we're just in there like the native guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to see like the big picture. So like when we came in, we started really scaling the spend. The money at the time was being managed actually by the traffic source, and they were doing like a pretty shit job. So when we scaled the spend, we were able to like watch the other categories increase from our prospecting traffic, like a real true. Yeah, dude. The information exchange and the learning that I took away from that relationship was, you know,
huge.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, that's amazing. I love that. That's so cool. That's one of the great parts of owning an agency too. You just get to understand how everyone else's models work.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. You learn like a ton. And it's nice because like what I learned from this client, not like I share their secret sauce by any means, you know, but like the techniques and ideas, it gives me more opportunity and more money to spend for me to learn. And then in turn, people hire me for my knowledge, you know, so I can spread it more effectively. You know, I'm working with a client now that does skin and skin products, diet products. It's owned by copywriters. They're
amazing.
Like, they're some of the best copywriters, like 10 years back. And I've never had the experience where I can like run traffic and be like, I need like 4 new pre-sales. And like, I'm getting super high quality copy like every week. Like, and being involved in their brainstorming and the way their brains think and what they're working on has been a lesson also in itself, you know?
Yeah. That's super
really
cool, man.
Yeah. That's key, man. Like the copywriting, I feel like that is, if you have a good copywriter, that is a huge problem solved in your business. Cause like we are just, I'm the copywriter and I'm not by no means a pro at it at all, you know?
Totally.
So it's, if you could come out with new angles, like that new angle is worth like $1 million at least, you know? That
Would
works.
you agree that the copywriter is probably the most valuable person in the equation?
For sure.
And I would say traffic sources are making it even easier and easier than ever. Like for the most part, Facebook, like the pixel learns.
Yeah.
Pixel learns and identifies your buyer. But if your copy is shit, you're still not going to sell.
Totally.
And I could see it being like coming to a day where like for the most part, a media buyer doesn't even do much, but the copy guy, he's always going to be valuable.
2 years. I think, dude, I think in 2 years, it'll be the creatives that are irreplaceable. The guy that thinks up the video, the people that take it 0 to 1, that first spark of creativity, will be like irreplaceable by machines probably for a lot longer.
Yeah.
But everything else we do is based on math and decisioning. So like
that can be automated.
Yeah, we're like the first people to get chopped.
Yeah. I even notice now, and I don't know if you're seeing the same, but like the more that I do this, I have better luck with less targeting. Like more just letting Facebook do whatever the fuck it wants.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find I don't target barely anything anymore. I just block. So like my only real optimizations really are blocking placements or blocking geos.
Yeah.
So like I just go broad, and then I find like cities or states that are bringing up my CPL,
Yeah.
and I just block those. And
Yeah.
it's like that's it. Like Facebook figures that shit out, especially like maybe when I first turn on an account, because ecom's like a little bit different because some things are more specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I try to run shit that's broad. Like anything that I can run on native, you can just run on broad on Facebook. Like Facebook will figure it out, you know?
That's
Like
awesome. Can we talk about that for a little bit? The difference between running advertisements on native and Facebook, like the whole approach. How do you find that?
I mean, we were talking about it a bit beforehand. I prefer it a lot. Like I always use look, I work all the time. I love my job, right? And we're emotionally attached to it. Stat refreshing is addicting. It's literally is an addicting thing. Like it is by nature something we're connected to. Our serotonin, our dopamine, everything.
Yeah, that's true.
The ability of Facebook is not good for me and my mental health. So let me say that first. I just it's gut wrenching sometimes.
Totally.
If I take a look at it from taking the personal side out of it, right? I would say that like it comes back to this. I teach media buyers on my teams. First, I teach them natives so that they understand the elemental function and the things that are quantifiable about media buying. If you start out teaching somebody on Facebook, Facebook is so smart. Like you said, the pixel learns. You don't need to do targeting. You don't really learn how to media buy. You just get to play with lookalikes and cool features. Natives, I prefer because of the fact that it's 100% quantifiable. There's a minor algorithmic influence. They kind of profess for it to be more, but it's pretty small. And it comes back to numbers. Like I can ask someone to run campaigns and say, okay, prepare a launch spreadsheet for me. And it's down to the click. So what's the conversion rate of the LP CTR equals X amount of clicks for the test. Offer page conversion rate means we need this many clicks for the test. Headlines, this many clicks. So it's something that's like easier to train, and in my mind, easier to run because I can measure, I can test, and I can measure and test in much less volatile environment. You know, it's like it's not all over the place. Like, yeah, maybe some days I got less traffic, maybe it's a little more expensive other days, but on the whole, it's measurable. So it's for me, it's a better experience.
Totally.
It's the only
Also, let me say this: I can rotate landing pages and shit without account bans or problems.
Yeah.
If I want to run like a split test of like 6 LPs and 4 offer pages, and just spin that fucker, and they're all on different URLs. No one cares. It's it's so much easier.
They actually want your money.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Totally.
One thing I noticed is every time I like dabble in native, and just to clarify, I haven't made native successful for me. But it makes me a better advertiser because I'm more aware of all the working pieces. And every time I do that, it increases the ROI on my Facebook campaigns because I understand like CTRs a lot more, ad copy, click costs, like everything. I feel like Facebook, like sure, you're getting a low click, but is that due to your thumbnail on your video, or is it due to the time of year? Or like, you know, there's just so much bullshit mixed into that you don't really know. With native though, like you can fully break it down and understand it.
Yeah.
And also too, because it's not algorithmically based and because it's not Facebook controlled and hyper biased, like, I don't know what your guys' experience is, but like, let's say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if I optimized the shit out of something, I could find 50, 60% plus ROI. Like, I'm not saying I'm like the world's best media buyer or it happened every day, but there were times on certain offers that I would find pockets of insane profitability. And I feel now like on Facebook, it just eventually all normalizes to like basically the same ROI. Like it just kind of all smooths out to like 20 to 30% ROI.
Same, man. I find it like lower scale, like you can hit those 100% ROI, but then as soon as you're like, okay, I'm going to crank this bitch, it's just like, we're going to give you like on a good day, 30.
Yeah, totally. It normalized. Like it just normalized. And it wasn't like that. It used to be, if I had a campaign, let's say I had a campaign running with a 30% ROI, and I found a fire image and a fire copy and everything, I would drop that fucker in and my margin would increase and it would hold for a second.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think now it just normalizes. Like no matter what I put in there, it just sinks.
Yeah.
You know,
Lord
where
Zuck has figured it out.
they absolutely have. They I hate to be on that conspiracy level shit, but I mean, how could they not? Like they know everything.
Literally.
And why wouldn't you? Like honestly, it's fairly smart because you can just set the algorithm to be like, okay, obviously this person's making money because they have their pixel set up. We can see their leads coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we just give them enough that they keep spending? You know?
Yeah. Even worse with ecom. Listen, ecom, we post back. Well, most of us do. We send back to Facebook the conversion value.
Yeah.
But they really see what we're making. They can see our ROAS. I'm sure they go across and say like, okay, what's the ROAS that people stop spending, and what's the ROAS that people go crazy on? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
That's so true. Yeah, and I like in the past too with Facebook, like to touch on this again, I found that like the heavier you spent, the more your ROI would increase. You mentioned that a little bit, but I found that like the compounding comments and like the natural traffic that would roll in just from so many people sharing and commenting, you would be far above 100% ROI.
Wow.
But now it's not like that.
The other thing is you never get a chance to get any of that train rolling because you get banned after like fucking
yeah. We had a good long convo about account bans before this and how in the lead gen world it's a roller coaster. But yeah.
Do you find that in the e-com world at all?
What's that?
The e-com world. Do you guys find you have issues with account bans?
You know, I have a theory on this also. Nice. I think that there's less. I believe that the Shopify framework is somewhat whitelisted. That's the only thing I can think of. Because like people run very aggressive, and not because they're affiliate aggressive, because they just don't know better.
Yeah.
And they don't get banned. Like if I run a skin offer as an affiliate, I'm gonna get banned in minutes, or a diet offer, I'm gonna get banned so fast.
Yeah.
You see some massive people out there on Shopify stores that just don't have those issues. There's absolutely less bans on ecom than there is on Facebook, than on lead.
Interesting.
No questions. Like I have a good friend, Nick Shackelford. He runs like tons of agency ecom stuff for years now, and he's never dealing with these crazy bans.
Really?
Ever.
Sounds like he's living the dream.
I guess. Like, I don't know, dude. I love my lead gen shit. I was just telling Gabe, I'm doing lead gen in France now.
Oh, interesting.
It's savage, dude. It's like
really.
You guys get it because you do lead gen, but like the CPMs are cheap, and the call centers are at a level of sophistication that it works. Like they're not there yet. They're not like killer American call centers. Like they want their leads delivered once a day in an Excel spreadsheet. They called them the following.
What?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Dude, in America, they go into like the whole CRM. They get auto dial. They get like text message.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's insane.
Totally.
Is lead gen a common thing in France?
Dude, believe it or not, if you can crack it, it's a common thing everywhere. My caps are like basically unlimited caps on multiple home improvement offers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, look, businesses, they still need leads, auto insurance.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's debt settlement here. Like there's government programs, there's solar, like you know, it's the same shit. It's just in French with much cheaper CPMs.
And I was gonna say, like, do you find less competition overall though?
Look, when I first started doing French lead gen, it was like 3 years ago, 3 years ago. It was solar, and we ran heavy here on that. And it was definitely less competitive then. Yeah. And then compared to what I see now, it's more competitive now. But at the same time, the people here are not as jaded or aware of advertising practices. So like, I really don't think they know what an advertorial is. Most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, look, I've never seen a listicle here in France. Like I live here. I've never seen a listicle, not one. You know, so
that's like, crazy.
Totally, dude. So you can kind of like
that's so funny
practices and like move them over.
Yeah. You know, it's earlier this year. So we have a few guys in Egypt actually. So I actually made the point of going out, visiting them and learning, and like just being an I wouldn't know if I would classify this as an emerging market or not, but just seeing the opportunities in different countries, man. because it's like, you know, we do a lot of email, and I'd ask people that I met in Egypt, I'm like, hey, do you know where your spam button is? They're like, what's the spam button? And I'm like, oh my
Totally.
God, this is like
Totally.
email in America 20 years ago.
Totally.
It's crazy.
Totally. It's worth it, man. Like really, if you find a country that has a big enough, uh, you know, a big enough pool of people and has like money, which a bunch of, you know, European areas have, especially if you put them together. Like Italy and Belgium are a little small, Netherlands a little small, but you can still make sick ROI there. Like when we were running solar in Belgium and Netherlands and Italy, as I mentioned a few years ago, we'd be like 300% ROI.
Wow.
And in the US, we were like at 30%.
Scale?
The caps were low, but like we were getting leads for like $2 because they were like,
what is,
you know, they were seeing like an advertorial with the map on the bottom, click to see qualify, like all of this redundant shit, like the calculator, like click to find out your rate and all this type of shit. They never seen it.
Oh, I love it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun.
So do you have to, so for these, you have to go out and create that relationship with the buyers and everything like that. Like, it's not like an affiliate company where you can just go to and be like, run my shit, or?
No, like first off, I'll only do it if I control the offer, anything anymore. Like I just don't, just because that's like kind of my secret sauce is optimizing delivery and optimizing biz dev.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough that I worked with a guy out here that was buying like a lot of the leads, and he kind of stepped out of the business.
Yeah.
And I have a very good friend here. I have like literally one friend here besides my wife. One.
Yeah.
No bullshit. I have one. Okay. And he's like high level sales guy. And I had this idea, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do it with him. And he's like, hey, I quit my job today. Fuck this. I don't want to work for this company anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, listen, I got an opportunity for you. I'll pay you for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I just want to see if we can bring on buyers and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like selling leads in America, dude. They all want them. The call centers ask the same shit in English or French. Are you the source? Or are you a middleman? Oh, I'm the source. All right, I'll test them. How much? It's like that. It's the same as the US.
Oh, that's amazing, dude.
Instead of conversion rate, it's the rate de transformation. You know, it's like, but it's the same shit, dude. It's the same shit.
Oh man, that's so awesome. Props to you for setting that up, dude. That's sick.
Yeah, man.
I'm kind of lucky.
No doubt, but I think this is actually a really good vein, because I think there's a lot of affiliates out there. They almost feel like, for the most part, they're at the mercy of the traffic source. They're at the mercy of the offer owner. Like, when you own the offer, could we talk about that flexibility and what you can do with that a little bit more?
Oh, dude, listen, we never would have made the money we made in solar or any of our offers if we didn't control the offer. And it requires such a minimal amount of biz dev for the benefit. Like step one, you're getting rid of the network, which is going to buy you 20%.
Yeah.
Step two, you're going to have a better conversation with the buyer because you're going to have a direct relationship. So it's not like, even in the affiliate network model, it's fucked up because you got the person that talks to the buyer and you're the person that talks to the affiliates. When you're able to connect the buyer and the affiliate and you talk together and you have open conversation, you can always optimize things to where it wins better for both of you.
Yeah.
And what I eventually do is I connect it even technically. So when I send the lead into the buyer, I send in my sub ID, but I also have like sub ID. So I send over like my audience, my landing page, my headline, and my image, and I connect that to the lead. So when they get the lead, I have everything connected to it. So like in a dashboard, I can see, and they give me back their conversion data, right? Because at the end of the day, if the call center CPA goal is $100, that's really all that matters. It doesn't matter what the lead costs. It could be a $50 lead that converts 50% of the time.
Yeah.
It's the same as if it's a fucking $100 or a $1 lead that converts 1 out of 100. So I get the CPA goal back, I get the conversion back, and now I can match it to landing page, headline, or audience and optimize the traffic. So very often when you have these new levers to play with, you find what the call center needs, you find what you need, and all of a sudden you have like much bigger margin than just, hey, I'm going to send clicks. The second thing is when you're working with a network and they're sending traffic, if you have some other affiliate sending trash and yours is like bundled in with it, then you're getting a shitty payout from the call center because their CPA is fucked up.
Totally.
So I have a good friend. His name is Sev Passo, and it's really the guy that taught me how to sell leads. It's like, I would definitely say my mentor in the lead business. And he's now in the process of setting marketplaces up for affiliates and saying, hey, I'll set up your posting. I'll connect you with the buyers. I'll set up the forms. I'll help you set up the pages. And I'm just going to take a piece for being in the middle because he sees the power of it, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
That
really
cool.
gives the affiliate a lot more power and control in their actual business. Honestly, it's good for the end buyer too. Yeah.
They have to. It's too expensive. If you don't have that fucking data, look, at the end of the day, prices are going up every year so much that pretty soon there won't be a margin. I know it's scary, but there will literally be no profit margin to generate a lead. So the only way to stay in the game is to be the one closing the deals or being able to monetize that data with something else. Like, for example, the exit offer, like that credit monitoring report, that was actually like $70K a month for us when we were running at scale. Right?
That's
like
amazing.
Just that fucking thing on the thank you page.
People don't even make that crazy. Front end normally.
Yeah.
It totally, dude. So even if we were breaking even, the expenses for the company were covered because of that thank you page. If I was sending to a network, I wasn't getting any of that. I wasn't getting the list. I wasn't getting the thank you page, nothing.
Yeah. Do you run a lot of internal email too with that lead? No?
Dude, we suck balls. And everybody I've tried to partner with on list management has never made my shit work. And I don't know if I'm getting scammed or...
Yeah. You know what? You never met Tyler Devin. That's why.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm down always and forever, dude. If somebody can monetize my data on the back end, I will love you forever.
I don't want to like toot horns, but I think Tyler's probably like one of the best and the biggest in this industry for that shit. And I'm not like, I'm not saying that just because we're fucking partners on some shit, but like he actually is.
Tyler, man, you know one thing. Yeah, I'm down, dude. That's actually one thing that I was talking about someone the other day, because he was saying, you know, I've tried some mailers and I tried this one mailer and I was making $1,000 a month. I tried this other mailer and I was making 20 grand a month. I was like, dude, your first mailer was making 20 grand a month. Like that's what your data was worth, but he was just paying you $1,000. Like I know a lot of mailers. It's funny. Like the one thing I found in this industry as a whole, it just makes sense to do the right thing and be a good person. And we'll get rev share deals because we're like, you know, we'll talk to an advertiser and he's like, yeah, I got another guy who's mailing my data too. How come you're mailing me or making me more? I'm like, I'm just paying you properly. That's the difference. And like the other mailer would be like, yo, like, how come you're paying this guy so much? I'm like, that's what it's worth. But mailers, like, I hate to admit it, man, there's a lot of them out there that literally will just, they think paying the advertiser $2, $3, $4 grand a month is like appropriate and keeping the rest. And it's not, man, you have an agreement, but it's the dirty secret of emailers, man. They'll do that for sure.
Yeah, this is the ultimate black box. It's like, hey, let me give you this shit that's worth tons of money, and you're gonna go sell it and weigh it and play with it and shit. And then you're gonna tell me what we got for it, and I don't even know you. I met you on Skype. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
Yeah.
And it happened a bunch.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it. All right, let's talk about your Geek Out EDU stuff. And like, you got a couple events coming up, and like, I know you didn't want to plug shit, man, but like, I'm gonna plug it for you.
No, listen, now I'll
because I know you're a real deal. I know you're the real fucking deal. So I want people to learn.
Now I'll plug. I don't give a shit now.
All right, let's do it. Let's hit it.
So I got two things coming up that I want to plug. One is I'm coming out with a native training, Zoom training.
Yeah.
Based on all the shit that we've been talking about for people complaining about getting banned on Facebook, everything else. I just want to show people how simple it is to port over. If you know, like the easy step, like you're not going to be a master, but it's like an easy bite-sized way to start porting over so that within a few months, you may not be all native, but you'll at least diversify your revenue streams. Like especially for e-com, to not be able to get 10, 15% out of native is a mistake. Like you can do it. So this is going to be coming out. I think we're going to start advertising tomorrow. It's called Geek Out EDU, Nothing But Natives. Yeah. And it'll be myself, my partner who I taught natives, Rita, and also Joe Burton, who you guys had on your show.
Yeah. Joe. Love Joe.
What a good dude, man.
Yeah, seriously. I love so Joe. Funny.
Yeah.
I love him. And you know, I always give this shout out to Joe is that he's the only agency that I work with consistently. Like I'm a media buyer, right? Like, so when I hire an agency, it's horrible for them. I'm just in their shit. This is garbage. Why are you doing this? And Joe he's made almost everything I've given him work. I love that guy.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
amazing,
dude.
man.
Joe's so legit.
Yeah,
Joe's so
That's
legit.
awesome.
bro. I'm probably gonna sign up for that native thing because like I need to know.
Dude, it's really like it's a step by step. I don't know, dude. The big hurdle for natives is the tracker. This is where everyone gets fucked, is because they're used to going into Facebook and logging in and using the Facebook dashboard to optimize.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with native advertising, because the amount of emphasis that's placed on pre-sales and things like this, you need a third-party tracker, and the data inside the platform isn't accurate. Anybody who starts using a tracker is like, whoa, I wish I could see this in Facebook. For example, in a tracker, I can see 3 variables performance at one time. I can see like the combination of headline, image, and landing page. What's my CPL? In Facebook, I've got 1 data point, and I'm like, yo, what's my CPL with this age or this region or whatever? Whereas in a tracker, I can put them all together. Anyway, natives is the shit. Geek Out EDU, nothing but natives. Buy that shit.
Yes.
That's awesome.
There you go. That's a pitch. And then
I like it.
Also going to announce it soon is in Los Angeles, February 22nd and 23rd. We're doing an event for e-com brands.
Yeah.
A lot more than just buying Facebook ads. We'll have Facebook ads, but also like customer service, Amazon, all the like Klaviyo, like all the different shit that goes into support a well-rounded thing. And it's also fun. I love this shit. We're doing geek help. So we're basically going to go out. We're going to feed the homeless for one event. Anybody who wants to, not everybody else wants to, but everybody that comes to these events, they make a lot of fucking money. They can afford to give like, go buy a couple $100 worth of food and hand it out to some people that need help, right?
Yeah.
We're doing a smash room, like one of those rooms where you just get to go in and destroy like computers and fucking TVs.
Oh, that's amazing.
Everything you ever want to do.
Smash. All Mark Zuckerberg faces everywhere.
Yeah. Tyler will be smashing his face with a scooter.
Yeah.
Dude.
Don't drink and scooter, kids.
You are the smash room.
That's true. That's true.
That's so funny.
I was just warming up for February, man. That's all.
Yeah.
Please, dude. And then also next year I've got on the books to do my first lead generation geek out. Just lead gen.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's time, man. No one does just lead gen events. Like it's never,
not at all.
And I think everybody would love to get around, talk about buyers and other stuff like, okay, how do you educate your buyers on how to handle your leads?
Yeah.
Like how do you monitor your buyers? Like there's a lot of nuanced shit that I think that TCPA compliance and shit. Like I don't want to give up now, but there's like topics like this that are like, all right, like someone tell us about it. All the love goes to ecom.
Yeah.
And so
dude, that honestly, that's super valuable because like we even found, so we started selling to some buyers direct, and they might even have like, there might be 4 buyers and one buyer's contact rate is 70%. Another buyer's contact rate is 20%. And the 20% guy is complaining. He's like, yo, how come my contact rate's so low? And I'm like, dude, it's the same leads I'm giving to this other guy who's 70%. Like there's something like, how are you following up with these people? So man, that's amazing. You guys are putting that together.
Yeah, dude, like the guy I told you about, like my mentor with this shit with lead gen, I would say 80% of his time is secret shopping the call centers or listening to the recordings. Because and the way that I handle buyers also, I think would be interesting for you guys when you work direct. So like when I have a call center complain to me or want to complain to me about my leads, I tell them we're not even going to have a discussion unless you give me data. Like it's a very simple conversation when you say, look, you tell me it's broken. Okay, I can't fix it. You tell me it's broken and here's a status report connected to the leads. I can look at those leads and go back and say, okay, they're all from Alabama or they're all from this audience or whatever. But like, I'm not even going to have this conversation with you unless you're advanced enough to be able to have a status report. Then once I have a status report, I go and optimize. And the reason I like to secret shop and listen to recordings is when they're bitching about your quality and you can play them a recording of their sales guy putting you on hold or not handling the call, they'll never bitch again. You're like, it's not me. You know, it's really powerful. That's like really managing the buyers. But I actually have a
that's smart, bro.
That I send out, which is an MIT study on conversion rate and contact rate based on how fast you call leads.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude. I'll find that and send it to you guys as well.
Yeah, I would love to see that,
really, dude. Like even here in France right now, what I'm working on is an education package to give to my buyers how to use the leads, how to answer the phone. Like, so simple, but tell them what they're there for. Like, hey, this is refi help or whatever. Like, there's so much little shit that, so anyway, I love lead gen. I'm lead gen for life. So I'm excited to do an event that,
that's awesome, dude.
Bro, that's awesome. Yeah. And it's funny, man. Cause like generally we like, there's a lot of events and I'm just like, I'm not really interested in that. But like the shit that you just pitched, I'm like, okay, I need to sign up for this shit.
Going.
Yeah. Me and Tyler will be there front row.
I literally make these events, like, no bullshit. I don't take any money from them. Yeah. I don't even always make money from them. I literally lost 30 grand on an event in Vegas. Like, it's a shitty business. Like, it's a really shitty business. But for me, I get to meet like the sickest people. Yeah. And also like, I really do make events where I want to learn things. Like, it's not a coincidence that I started running brands and now I'm doing an event for brands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's what I want to learn about, you know? So I try to make events that are for real dudes, you know? Like, you know, they know what's up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's super cool, man. Yeah, I know you've done a lot of like business leadership. I don't know if it was leadership or it was like hiring before or something like that you did, right?
Hiring and trading media buyers. How does that
work?
Dude, that's
another awesome. Great topic.
Yeah, man.
Totally.
Man, I feel like we could have you on here for like 10 fucking podcasts.
I know.
I'm free on Fridays around this time now.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, I don't know, man. I think like we should wrap this bad boy up because
dude, this was badass.
Yeah.
If people want to hear about these events, get more information, like how do they find you?
That's the fucking problem. I'm a marketer and I'm gonna market my shit. I literally tell people like, here, like hit me up on Facebook Messenger. My website's not done, or like some ghetto excuses. It's so ghetto, dude. But no, listen, literally hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I've got a Facebook group, Geek Out EDU, which is actually a great group. If you are a marketer, and it's not just because it's mine, it's like very like high level people, but they're also helpful. So join that motherfucker, Geek Out EDU.
Nice. Yeah. I'm part of it. It's got good shit in it.
Very good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to join right now.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it, dude. There's smart people in there. Nice people too. There's no like attitude. Like some of the other groups, sometimes if you ask like a noob question, it's not like a nice feeling, but like, dude, I don't know shit about email. So if I'm like, yo, what kind of fucking email server should I use? Yeah, it's noob to you, but you don't need the shit on me. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, man. Nor should I, man. It's like an honest question. And they're not all created equally. Yeah.
We're all noobs. There was a day when none of us knew what the fuck a click was. All of us.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So,
man, I feel like in this industry, every day I wake up and there's something that I just like don't know shit about that I got to learn. I feel like a noob daily. So
totally, dude. Totally.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, really appreciate your time. Thank you for everyone listening today. For everyone watching, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And for everyone listening, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. See you on the next one, guys. Thank you again, man. Really appreciate it.
100%.
Yeah, man. This is amazing.
Later.